Hey everyone, welcome back to Tactical Magic. This is Molly Mandelberg, your host, and I have a very exciting episode today. We have done a number of episodes where we discuss the subconscious mind in different aspects. Sometimes we've talked about it through hypnosis and through affirmations. And today we're talking about dreams and what goes on in your non-waking state and how that might have an impact on your waking life and the fulfillment and success and magic and beauty that you can have in your life on a day-to-day basis. So hang tight. I'll let you know who our special guest is today. It's not just about mastering technology. It's not just about brand or messaging. It's not just about making more money. It's about showing up in a big way so your people can find you. This is about bringing your most wild and authentic self into the hustle and grind. Welcome to Tactical Magic, a business strategies podcast for the warrior goddess entrepreneur. Awesome. So Michael Sheridan is Ireland's #1 dream expert. He was a regular on the #1 TV talk show in Ireland, Ireland AM, as well as a regular on Ireland's most popular radio shows, including The Inbox on 98 FM, sharing the stage with both metaphysical and movie stars, such as Paddy McMahon, spiritual author, and Frank Vincent of Sopranos fame. He appeared on the BBC and countless other premier media outlets, interpreting dreams for his wide audience. He's the author of 2 books, as well as the host of the radio show, The Dream Interpretation Podcast on KKNW. His passion is to see people become all they came here to be and to live their life to its fullest potential. He does this by interpreting dreams. From reading your dreams, he can give clear direction on your life purpose, reveal the gifts that you brought with you to help achieve that purpose, and uncover the blocks you need to overcome to step into alignment. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Thank you for having me, Molly.
Yes. So I just want to say this is such an amazing and unique skill set and passion to have brought to the world. How did you sort of find your way to interpreting dreams?
Almost accidental. So I had my own awakening experience, and it set me on a journey to, like, I was an atheist, and then after this event, I wasn't an atheist, and it's like, okay, how do I explain that? And how do I, if this is true, then what is my life about? What am I here for? And I thought, okay, if I'm now awakened and I'm asking this question, the universe is going to give me the answer, because why wouldn't it want to? And I went on this 2-year-long journey where I was not getting the answers. I did all sorts of courses. I read every book I could read. This is some time ago, pre-internet. A lot of things I did were really good, really, really beneficial to me. And they clicked some things into place, but never the last gear. And then I came across dreams, and it answered everything about all the questions I'd been asking. And I didn't expect that. I actually went to to this particular dream course kind of to heckle, because I thought I knew stuff. Mm-hmm. And but I submitted a dream anonymously, and it was interpreted, and it described me to a T. And it wasn't all pretty. It was, but it was accurate. And like, even at the last minute, the woman who interpreted my dream, she goes, "Oh, I'm by the way, the author was born by cesarean section, the author of the dream." I was just blown away, because, like, how can this level of detail be available to me every single night? And I didn't know. I just gave them one dream, my most recent dream. And so I got the bug. I just threw myself into it, and I'm like, I'm going to learn everything I can about this, because I'm asking the universe for answers, and really I needed to look inward and find out what my answers were. Because we all have a truth, and our truth is personal, and it isn't that, I don't mean like Democrat, Republican kind of truths can be completely wildly different, but your life experience is unique to you. And so we can both have a similar experience, or experience something in one location, and how it impacts us is different. And our dreams show the impact of things in our lives and what we need to do about them. They also show our gifts. You say your magic. There's lots of different terminology for the same things. And I think if you demystify it, it's great. But so we all come with at least one gift. We all have at least one gift. And your dreams are constantly reminding you what yours are. And many people have more than one, and how you're meant to use them, and how you're meant to help other people with a combination of what your gifts are. So it's absolutely amazing. It's like, the more you find out about yourself, obviously there's going to be limitations that you need to overcome, but it's beautiful when you know that the limitation is part of your challenge in life. It's part of what you're meant to deal with. because then it's like, okay, this isn't holding me back. This is the block of marble I'm meant to work on and create a beautiful statue from. Even though I'm not happy that this is my task, at least I know I'm on track. And I think that's also very reassuring to get from your dreams. I kind of went off wildly. You asked what got me into it. But...
I mean, this is, I think, fascinating information. I'm so glad to be bringing this conversation to the show. A little bit of background. I have been fascinated with the subconscious mind and the unconscious mind and dreams for as long as I can remember. I've always had a very vivid dream life, and I used to read books about interpreting them and about lucid dreaming and all these different things, and used to make mugwort tea in college so that I would like turn up the volume on my dream state until it got to be almost too much work while I was sleeping that I didn't feel rested in the morning. But yeah, I have a deep fascination for this, and I love that self-awareness that you're saying is possible through looking at our dreams, because I think a lot of people walk through life and they're like, oh, I had a crazy dream last night. Maybe they explain it to their partner or their friend, and then they let it go. They don't think that that has information or data for them to look at and unpack. Or if they do, they don't know where to even begin by finding out what that means. And I love that we're having this conversation today, because literally yesterday I work with an access consciousness facilitator named Cassie Summers, who is brilliant and very psychic and intuitive. And we were talking about something, and I was like, I had a dream. I don't know why it's coming up, but I brought it up, and it's so indirectly, but very like synchronistically related to the conversation we were having. And it brought up all this awareness about how I've been choosing to be certain ways or being certain ways in my life. And as soon as you're aware of that pattern or that tendency, then you have the option to choose it. You can acknowledge it and then choose how you want to interact with that part of yourself moving forward. So would you tell us a little bit about how that awareness sort of changed your trajectory, or how you see that the insights you bring from dream interpretation can alter people's courses in life?
Oh, totally. I have a course, my most popular course. It has 3 levels, and the top level of it, which is the one 99% of people do, I call it the transformational level, because if you listen to your dreams and do what they say, and they will always be saying, your dreams ask you to face your fears. So they will always be saying, this is something you need to overcome, but they will tell you where it comes from, how you got this in the first place, and what you need to do about it in order to heal that. And anything they ever say is always going to work because it's so personal to you, like I said. And so if you do that, and I jokingly say that particular course, I drag you by your ear and I make you do what your dreams say for about 10 weeks. And in such a short period of time, you can overcome the biggest obstacles you have in your life. And it's always surprising. And we look at our life today and we say, okay, if I've got a problem in career, I have a problem with being successful, or a problem with making money, or a problem with whatever happens to be. Everything really comes down to masculine and feminine energy, and your dreams show that. If you look at a child's dreams, they're much more primordial. They're really about just those energies, but everything finesses out from that. And so confidence, belief in yourself, feeling worthy of the space you occupy, ability to operate in the outside world, that is very much a masculine energy thing. And any place where you have issues with that energy is there so that you can see the obstacle you have and see the imbalance in that energy and do something, hopefully, to resolve whatever it is that causes that imbalance, so you no longer have those issues. And so you can do it many ways. You can get coached into how to overcome what the issues are, like you do NLP programming. There's many ways, there's many solutions to a person's problems. And that's one of the things I really liked about dreams, is they'll show you the problem, but they don't say you have to solve it this particular way. So there are many healers out there, many people that are going to be able to help you deal with your issues. But what your dreams do is they definitely don't hold any punches, and they say, this is the issue. Even though you think it's not, this is where it comes from. Mm-hmm. And so your masculine energy issues generally will come from issues with dad in childhood. They don't have to be. They can come from mom. We all have masculine and feminine energy. And your feminine energy issues, which are all to do with your inner world, your philosophy of life, your ability to love and care for other people, to feel love for yourself. There's many aspects to each one of these. So if your issues are there, then usually your dream's going to point back to an issue with mom that you need to work on. And then when you work on that, that lifts that. So you might, for instance, if you've issues with mom, you might find it very difficult to speak up in a room. You think people don't want to hear what you have to say. And like, who am I? Yeah, I could say this, but, nobody really cares. And that traps you. And so you can either get coached into how to try to get out of that, or as dreams would ask you to do, deal with the issue that caused you to have that reaction. Heal the trauma that caused that issue. When you heal that trauma, you don't have to look at the symptoms of your trauma. You don't look at the fact that you're overly shy, you feel like you don't belong. All of those things, they just disappear when you heal the trauma. So it's really, really cool. And then, of course, dreams also will show that those events with mom and dad or whoever it is at the start of your life, they're also an illusion. They only happen to help you with something that you had prior to coming here in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's all fascinating to me. Of course, that probably sounds crazy to many people.
No, it's totally fascinating. I don't know about, I'm sure people out there listening, because I'm having this experience, is just imagining those dreams, all the dreams that we've let pass by, how much information was there for us to unpack, and that we could have been fast tracking our way to whatever we're asking for in our lives, or whoever.
You still can. They repeat. So they repeat. It's like your dreams are actually a message from your higher self, who is the instrumental agent involved in designing your life, all the things that you're going to do in this life, what, your playbook, what you brought with you to achieve everything that you need to achieve here. And so the dreams come from there. You talked about the subconscious earlier. So the higher self shows up in your dreams as like the people in authority, the knowledgeable aspect of things. Your subconscious mind is the fearful part. So, and it interacts in the dream. It's a dialogue. So your higher self is saying, hey, Molly, you're meant to be channeling, and you don't like the idea. And you say, well, remember the last time I did that, another lifetime where I did it and didn't work out well, or whatever it happens to be. Don't know why I'm picking on past lives today. Normally I don't talk about that at all. But so that will show up in it as well. And then the befuddled person wandering through the dream is your conscious mind, let's say the conscious waking mind. So we see those three players in all of our dreams. And it's great if you can find the ones, like if you can find, say, a policeman or somebody like that in your dream, and you can have a lucid state that you talked about earlier. So what's the dream about? Why am I having this dream? Really what I wanted to get into is you're not going to miss out anything. Your dreams are going to repeat because your higher self is telling you, look, here's where you are right now with respect to what your life is about. This is your purpose. These are the gifts you brought. This is what you're meant to be doing. And this is what's holding you back. That's going to change a little bit, as you get older. It hopefully gets better and better and better. But it's still, you're giving it fresh every single time. So if you have an old dream, dreams have shelf life. So if something was going on at a particular time in your life, that dream could be no longer relevant because those circumstances are already dealt with. So it's best to look at newer dreams. That's not always true. You can look at some old dreams if they're about your gifts and life purpose. That is still true. That's still going to hold true. But you're never going to have missed out because you didn't interpret a dream. And also in a dream, during a dream, we understand what it means. We fully know what it means. Yeah. That's why none of it seems weird.
Oh, that's an interesting take. Could you give us some examples, anonymously from your clients or from your own dreams that you've had and how those make sense?
Well, I do have, on my website, I do have a list of the 10 most common dreams, and like 60% of us will have had one of those dreams. And I say these are the 10 most common, and these are what they actually mean. But to give let's say a common one would be teeth falling out. And that would be about two things. One is raising children. We often forget we're animals in an animal world, and animals carry their young around with their teeth. They defend their young with their teeth. It's all about, that's the biggest thing it means in a dream. And usually if you have somebody who's had that dream, they will know that, yeah, that's what's going on for us. We're having an issue. Like if you feel like, if you've dreamed that all your teeth are falling out, then it could be that your child is moving into college and out of your care, and you're worried about them, or you're talking about having kids, you're thinking about having kids. and don't have them yet, or you're wondering if you're going to be a fit parent. All of those things will trigger that kind of dream. So usually when you say it to a person who's had the dream, they're like, okay, I get it. That makes sense. The other thing it can be about is taking a bite at life, and feeling like you've bitten off more than you can chew, or you're afraid to even take a bite. But if you want to talk about a specific one that I like every dream, I think, but there's some that are just really cool in how they show up. So there's one lady I'm working with who is a healer, and she's a really good healer. And her issues in her life are all to do with masculine energy. And she's worked through most of those things, and it's really been fantastic for her. But she's also meant to channel, and she's meant to do other things. She's meant to layer on top of what she's able to do. And she had a dream where she was looking at two horses in a field, and there was a guy in the field. She's on the other side of a fence, and one of the horses, a really powerful horse, is coming towards her to jump over the fence, and she ducks behind the fence. And there's a guy with a gun, a silver gun, and he shoots. He means to shoot at one of the horses, but he shoots at her. And another reason she's carrying. And it seems like any other dream. It seems like there's no sense in that dream. How can you make any sense of it? But my favorite aspect of dream interpretation is discovering what your gifts are. And symbols of power in a dream represent the ability to channel power through your body and heal other people. Healing energy, channel that through yourself into other people. And so powerful horses are the most common way that's going to show up in dreams. Not the most, but very, very common way. The sun is probably the most common way. But there's many symbols that indicate that. So powerful horses are one. And we know how horses are powerful. We associate them with power because we even say, like, what's the horsepower of that engine, So she has that ability, but because of a former life and interaction with her dad in a former life, she is behind the fence when it comes to really stepping into the ring and using it. And that's what her hiding behind the fence is. And she was persecuted in that former life. And that shows up in the dream. The part I really like is he's got this silver gun. And so, if you think about it, horror movies and so on, the silver bullet is meant to kill the werewolf. And so it's symbolic in this dream of being put down and pursued relentlessly for using a gift. Now, in the world we live in today, we can talk about spiritual gifts. We can talk about the ability to channel or communicate with spirits or whatever happens to be. But if you went back 100 years, you couldn't. You would be arrested. You would be persecuted. Go back a little bit further and you would be hanged. Even just somebody could just accuse you of being a witch or whatever happens to be. They want to accuse you of, and that's your life over. And a lot of us carry the memory of using our gifts to help other people in other lifetimes, and then losing our own life or being ostracized and so on for using them. And so a lot of people's fears come from that. But what our dreams show is, yeah, we can work on a former life, and that's fine if you're into that. But there's always going to be something in this lifetime that anchors your issue, and you can focus on that. Strong work in that area. But like I said, strong, but not for too long. Like 10 weeks is massive. You usually are going to clear it. And then your life is different. You're totally different. You're up for the next challenge. But usually when you heal something, your higher self wants you to live in that healed space for a while, because you've now cleared everything so that you can grow. And eventually you will grow and hit the boundaries of that growth. And then you'll start seeing your dreams saying, now there's more you can do to clear the space for more growth. And that's really ultimately what it's all about, is that growth. But and it's your own personal growth. But at the same time, while you're able to grow with the help of other people, you're here to help other people grow too. So it's very much a community-based system, let's say.
Your growth ripples out into everyone in your lives. And especially if in the role of a leader or a healer or a guide or a mentor, you doing that work only expands it for everyone else you work with and everyone else they touch in their lives. It's beautiful. I just love that the idea that having a bad dream, quote unquote, bad dream, is like an invitation from your higher self to expand and grow into your next level, that there's nothing wrong or bad about it, that it's literally just information to guide you forward to greater. And that is like such a powerful reframe of having a nightmare or having a recurring dream. So I want to bring this one up because it just came up in some friend of mine posted they were in Big Sur, and Big Sur, for anyone who doesn't know, is like giant, beautiful mountain cliffs that go into the ocean, and the road is really high up off the ocean. And they were having dreams about tsunamis the whole time they were there. And one of my co-hosts on my other podcast, Chris Tomaso, the other podcast I run is called Reveal the Game of Life. He commented on that post and said, I have had recurring dreams about tsunamis too. And I also have, not in a while, but especially before I started my business and in the first couple of years of my business, I had this recurring dream of tsunamis and running up a hill, trying to get away, watching the water wash away whatever town I was just in, and just the mayhem and destruction and the fear and the running. I'm curious, is that one of the more common dreams, the tsunamis, the big wave?
It is. So difficulty in water is a common dream. So the ocean represents the spirit world in dreams. It's where life comes from on planet Earth. It came from the oceans, but life really comes from the spirit world. So the analogy is a perfect one. And so rivers, lakes, canals, all bodies of water, they usually will represent something spiritual in your dream. But life is a spiritual journey. So everything in life, everything you're doing is spiritual anyway, ultimately, because it's all about you learning about yourself in some way so that you can, like you in your dream, it's showing the turmoil of starting your business, life coming at you, which is really what the tsunami is kind of about. Like, can I escape what's coming at me in life right now? What do I need to do to survive, et cetera, et cetera? Which is probably a little bit more than metaphorical. When you take the plunge and you step out of a conventional career and into trying to sustain yourself through with your own wits and in your own business. But the moving to higher ground is a very common theme in dream. And so life is about raising your vibration, healing the issues that hold you down, hold you back, the limiting beliefs, all those things, addressing them so that you can raise your vibration. And the moving to higher ground that you talked about in your dream is exactly what life is about, so that you have your vibration raised, because of the events that are happening to you. They cause you to work on yourself, cause you to become better, the better version of yourself, constantly refining you so that you're the better version, and then the better version again, and the better version again. And I'm sure if you look at your own business, there's a lot of things that you can comfortably now that you would have dreaded doing in the beginning. And so that is you at the higher ground. And it is only our limiting beliefs that really do hold us back. And so either life is going to, with our eyes closed, is going to make us overcome them on the karmic path, or we're going to get to a point of being aware and riding the wave and living on the dharmic path, or in a state of grace where you really are creating your life. The karmic path is an illusion that, you think you're in control of your life, but you're not. It's like, it is so set in stone that you couldn't change what's coming. Whereas when you can get rid of all that fear-based living, very few people do, but if you can get rid of that, then you live in this completely different place where those rules don't apply to you anymore. But you're very connected. You know what's going on. When you see somebody, like if you think of it this way, when you see somebody, you go, oh, she reminds me of my friend Karen because she looks a bit like her. When you're on the dharmic path, you see into people and you're like, she reminds me of my friend Karen, not because of her appearance, but because of her soul. And it's a very different experience, and beautiful, amazing experience. So you're aware you're on it, and it's easier to be on it when you get on it because your fears are gone. They're just gone. You trust that life is giving you what everything you need. And it's not just I'm blindly trusting. You're in the flow of it, and as opposed to anything else. Yeah,
it's a totally different perspective. And beyond this reality, and I think so many people are convinced that reality is real, that we get sucked into that everything
is real for us while we're here, though, in the sense of
it's real as long as you have to put it is. And there are people
food on the table
that's beyond the confines of this reality. And so if that idea turns you on, it's an option, which is really cool. So tell us, we're running out of time. I'm shocked how fast this episode has gone by already. I feel like we could talk more and more about this. It's awesome. But I know you have a course coming up. So tell us a little bit about what that looks like.
Well, I have a free event. It's a 3-day free event. And it's in October 7th to 9th. and you can get the information to join that. I do take a refundable deposit, but you get the whole thing back. All you have to do is show up. And that's because the number of seats I have on Zoom is limited. It's virtual. So you show up the first day, you'll get the money back. It's $97. But again, it's a refundable deposit. And just go to dream-analysis.com/free. And we start off at a very easy pace talking about why we dream in symbols, and then getting into masculine and feminine energy, and then the birth imprint, which is the biggest impact in your life. Like, you carry that all the way through the rest of your life. Why is it that way? How it shapes you and what you need to do to heal things around it. We talk about channeling. There's a lot of Q&A in it. We did it last year for the first time. Everybody loved it. And we just recently decided we're going to do it again.
Awesome.
But that's where you get it. You can also get my dictionary of symbols. Like, if you're wondering what's gone on in your own dreams, if you go to just dream-analysis.com and download the free dictionary there.
Great. We will put those links in the show notes for everyone so that they can easily access them. And just quickly tell us about your 2 books as well. Is the Dictionary of Symbols one of the books?
So I did write a book that's very encyclopedic. It's very it's a reference manual. I start off easy talking about health, because your dreams cover every aspect of your life: health, relationships, spiritual growth, etc., your gift. And so the book covers all of those. And then it has an extensive dictionary at the end, but it's all built from dreams that I've interpreted, rather than just saying this is what this means. It's like, this is what it means in 3 different ways from different dreams. And so that's my first book. It's quite big. It's a lot of information in it. And my second book, so many people would ask me, like, what got me into this? How did you end up here? And I would share anecdotal stories on my courses. So eventually I wrote a book that is just about that. But I was much more comfortable writing when I wrote my second book. So it's got my style, my sense of humor. So it's quite funny, and it's short. And a lot of people say that they just read it from start to finish when they pick it up. And I kind of tongue in cheek called it my journey to awakening, because, but it's really, we all have awakenings, mini awakenings, let's say, throughout our lives. And it really is the story of what woke me up, and then what I did as a result of that experience, and what I learned as I fumbled my way through my journey.
I love it. We'll hopefully that's on your website too. We'll put the website in the show notes.
It is. Yeah. They're on the website.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what's the best place for people to follow you? Are you on social media? I know the podcast is called the Dream Interpretation Podcast. So everybody go subscribe, look that up. What are some great places for people to follow you online?
So if you download my dictionary, that's the best place to follow me, because you will get an email sequence that has lots of tips and tricks for interpreting dreams. But I write to that list pretty frequently, and that is really the best way. I am on Facebook and other things, but I don't really post a lot, which is terrible. So
okay.
You should probably help me fix that.
We can talk about that. But if it's working for you, definitely get on Michael's email list. I imagine there's some really insightful inspiration coming at you there. People
on that list can send me their dreams and they end up in my podcast. So that's how that works. So
that's an easy way to get your dream interpreted. Wow. That's a fantastic reason to get on your email list. I'm in. Awesome. Well, I always love to end the episode by asking, first off, you shared so much wisdom and beauty, magic on this episode already. Thank you so much. And is there any last words of wisdom that you want to leave people with?
Well, just that often the biggest obstacle in your life is like, we see it as like, this is getting in my way. I could live my life fully. I could do all these things only for this. But your dreams will almost always show you that the obstacle isn't in your way. It is the way. So whatever you have to do to overcome that obstacle, if you have to pay somebody for coaching, for healing, for whatever it is, or do a lot of work on your own, many times you can do these things on your own. That's where your growth is, in overcoming that thing, to the point that if you were ever to experience it again, you'd have no issue. So it's not just like, I want to escape this obstacle, but overcome the obstacle. That's really what it's about. And so knowing that life has those in your path on purpose can be very liberating, if you see it as like, this is all part of the game. It's all part of the illusion, and you're meant to play full on.
Yeah. Rather than why is this happening to me? It's like, why is this happening for me? It's a
Exactly.
totally
Yeah.
different perspective.
We don't feel happy at the time, but
Right.
it can help, alleviate the bad feelings about it.
Yeah, and create the growth that thing is there for you for. Yeah, which is hard to look at sometimes, but powerful to move through for sure. Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show, Michael. We might have to do another episode in the future because there's just so much here. I feel excited and inspired, and I'm definitely getting on your email list to send you my dreams. And yeah, I appreciate your magic. Thanks. Yeah. And thank you everyone out there for listening. Don't forget to come back next week for another episode of Tactical Magic. And whatever happens, keep asking big questions and taking bold action. And don't forget to write down your dreams so you can see some trends in them. Yeah, you're here for a reason. Bye.